In 1973, Norma McCorvey, a native of Dallas, Texas, had her third unwanted pregnancy. McCorvey, formerly known as Jane Roe to protect her identity, sued the state for being unconstitutional by prohibiting a woman's right to have an abortion. At the start, abortions were legal until the mother could feel the baby moving inside of her, around 4 months into the pregnancy, but were outlawed completely by the 1880s. This change was mainly due to nativists that were afraid of declining birth rates among white Protestant Americans. Abortion became part of the political discussion due to the development of contraceptives and their involvement as the basis of many court cases. Before Roe v. Wade, around 1.2 million illegal abortions were being performed every year. For many of these abortions, women would buy drugs on the street that were marketed to abort the fetus, but also would prove fatal to the woman herself. This high number of illegal abortions was because abortion was only legal in a few states, such as Hawaii in 1970, New York, and finally Alaska and Washington 3 years later, at the same time of the Roe v. Wade court case. Roe was pitted against Henry Wade, District Attorney of Dallas, and although the court ruled an abortion ban unconstitutional, Wade proclaimed he would still persecute doctors that performed abortions. In conjunction with this case, a married couple separately went to court for abortion, claiming the abortion ban was unjust. They argued that abortion should be allowed, citing possible injury due to failure of contraceptives, unpreparedness for parenthood, and the health of the women being jeopardized. This case also deemed the abortion ban unconstitutional. Soon after, Roe v. Wade was appealed to the Supreme Court, and McCorvey had her third baby and put it up for adoption. The Supreme Court deemed an abortion ban unconstitutional under the 14th Amendment Due Process Clause, stating, "No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws." In short, the court came to the conclusion that this statement guarantees the right to privacy. This clause is only as powerful as its interpretation, however, as privacy is subjective. This clause also gives power to the government's interests in protecting women's health and fetal life, which can balance and challenge this sentiment. The Supreme Court created rules for each trimester of pregnancy. They stated that there cannot be a prohibition to abortions in the first trimester, there can be reasonable health regulations set in the second trimester, and in the third trimester, abortion can be prohibited. However, there must be special cases included, such as the ability to get an abortion if pregnancy could prove fatal to the mother. Roe v. Wade became even more controversial because the aforementioned reasonable health regulations and the interpretations of the Due Process Clause are both subjective. Many people are angry and believe that the due process law transfers too much power from the other branches of the government to the judicial branch. Roe v. Wade set a precedent for future cases, such as Planned Parenthood v. Casey, as it was settled claiming that Roe v. Wade should be retained and once again reaffirmed. However, 20 years after Roe v. Wade and 2 religious conversions, McCorvey announced her opposition to abortion, even though she was the very person who brought it into the political limelight. Still today, women's reproductive rights are front and center in political discourse, and even now, the decision made in Roe v. Wade in 1973 is being threatened.